Hello. One of the questions which I'm asked is it realistic for tutoring to replace your actual income, or is it more realistic for it just to be a side hustle? And this is one of those questions that haunt many people and prevent them from ever taking the leap, especially if you're already juggling a job, a mortgage, and a family, and whatever else life is thrown at you. But it's not just about the numbers, it's about risk and identity and the need for reassurance before making that change. I'm going to try and present this article as honestly as I can, but with more and more people promoting themselves as tutors, it's getting harder to be seen and stand out from the crowd. But it can be done if that's what you want, but be prepared for hard work, sleepless nights, and moments of frustration alongside the joy and the fulfillment. There will be highs and there will be lows, but if you commit, it'll be one of the most rewarding things that you'll ever do. Before you begin tutoring, it's worth reflecting on why you actually want to become a tutor. Is it to escape the commute and the bureaucracy of your current job? Is it because you're ready for a change and you want to support others in a subject that you love? Being clear on your reasons why will help you to stay focused when times get difficult. If it is possible, I would suggest that you start tutoring as a side hustle. When I first started, I set my goal of finding 10 students. If I achieved that, I'd be able to leave the job that I was in. It took me just under 6 months. However, for the first couple of months, I was too afraid to tell anyone that I had started tutoring, as I feared people would judge me for if it failed. So why start as a side hustle? Because building a full-time tutoring income takes time. Some tutors do achieve it, but very rarely overnight. It takes time for people to recognize you as a tutor. You may be fortunate enough to start with family and friends, but that won't sustain you forever. In the early days, you may put out adverts and hear nothing back. You might have conversations that seem promising, only for them to lead nowhere. It can feel really discouraging, especially when you know you've got bills to pay and responsibilities to meet. But if you can be patient, things will grow. Word of mouth, reputation, and persistence will help you build that steady stream of clients. As with most things in life, it takes time, effort, and consistency. So, what are the options? There are a few options available to you at this point. The first one might be to consider working for an agency and let them find the work for you. They will have an established reputation, they'll have a marketing system in place, they'll have a marketing fund to help you get your name out there and eliminate many of those early days of silence. Or to buy into a franchise may be another option. If these are avenues that you might want to consider, I would suggest reading the article which I've attached. Once you've thought about your motivation, it helps to see the possible paths that you might take. So the first one is the side hustler, which is probably 1 to 3 students a week, and that will bring in hopefully a few £100s a month. Finding your first students may come through friends, families, and local Facebook groups or other groups. You might even offer a few sessions for free to exchange for testimonials to build credibility. It takes persistence, but this can give you the confidence and experience that you need to get going. After that, we've got the steady grower, and that's when you've got roughly 5 to 10 students. So it's giving you probably part-time income, but with some flexibility. And at this stage, you'll probably need to be more active in your promotion, things like national platforms, adverts, or creative marketing ideas. One of the first things that I did when I first started was I bought some magnets and put them on the side of their car. I think they cost me roughly £25 back then, but that was probably about 10 years ago. And the prices will probably have gone up in that time. But they got complete strangers approaching me in car parks when I was filling up petrol, whatever. And the most significant event was when I was working at a young girl's house one evening, and the car was parked on their drive with my magnets on the side. And halfway through the lesson, the mum came in and said she was off out for dinner with friends, but the husband was in. So you go, bye, have a good evening, and all the rest of it. But apparently, during their meal, the conversation had come up about my car with the magnets on the side and the fact that I was at their house tutoring their daughter, and the mum had said what a difference it was making. The following day, both those friends rang up to see if I could support their sons as well. Would that conversation have taken place if I hadn't had the magnets on the car? I don't know, but it definitely helped. So, and from there, the business just skyrocketed because that gave me a couple of, or a very strong testimonial, and then that brought on two more, and then they were both giving out testimonials, and it just grew and grew and grew. And then the next option is the full-time tutor, and that's kind of 15 plus students and running it like an actual business. And maybe your goal is to throw yourself all in to run this business and take a full-time income from it. I think if this is the case, one of the biggest lessons I've learned over the years is that you can't do it all by yourself. Creating a tutoring business can provide a strong income, but it comes with responsibilities. As your earnings increase, so will your expenses. You may need things like an accountant or a bookkeeper, a marketing budget. If you employ other tutors, you will become responsible for their pay. And it can be stressful, but it also offers independence and the chance to shape your own work life and the privilege of supporting so many students. Each path requires a different level of commitment, and with each one comes its own challenges. What they share is potential freedom, achievement, and impact. But there's also the non-financial wins. Tutoring doesn't just affect your bank balance, it can transform your confidence. It can give you a renewed sense of purpose, improve your work-life balance. Most of all, it gives you the privilege of helping children believe in themselves again. Parents only get one chance to shape their own child's learning journeys, but as tutors, we get to make a difference to many children's lives, and that is powerful. Here is an email that I received from a parent that captures this. I wanted to say a huge thank you for everything that you've done for F. You've helped him so much in his maths and English, but for him it was more than that. Before starting with you, he was in a really bad place. He felt education wasn't for him, and no hope of passing anything or achieving anything. But by teaching him maths in a way that he understood, he started to believe that he wasn't totally stupid, and maybe he could pass. And then that spiraled as he got better at maths. He started thinking about maybe he could do other things, and it's really changed his whole outlook. I never thought I'd be sitting here with him discussing A levels, let alone considering him going to college after sixth form to study computing. He's like a different person. And that's why we do what we do. We have the privilege of changing lives as tutors. So, what comes next? So, perhaps the real question is not only can it replace my income, but also what kind of life am I trying to create? If you're still exploring how to get started and how to get seen as a tutor, I've created a 5-day visibility challenge to help those first few steps. If you are interested, you can click on the link below. I hope it helps. And tutoring is an incredible opportunity, and over the years it brings us, and I hope that over the years it brings you as much happiness as it has brought to me.